The year is 1945. World War II rages from the halls of Buckingham Palace to the shores of the Nile River. Even now, the clash between freedom and tyranny is about to boil over. Somewhere in North Africa, two American flyboys are soaring high on a reconnaissance mission, searching for clues to a peculiar new obsession, with the occult gripping the Nazi high command.
This wasn't my idea. I didn't want to come to this settlement and take Federation goods. But our illegal warship needs fuel. And Lady Bossy Butt picked this job. Having two militants should have made this easy. Hopefully the ship won't be busted when we get back. Hopefully. Just another dirty deed we do. But hey, at least it's fun.
The universe is chaotic and consistent at the same time. From its outer reaches to its core, the law remains the same. With anything precious, there are those who would take it. Worldless, space-going scum who would sell a planet's lifeblood to the highest bidder. And damn the consequences. Their thievery ends here. As the universe has its own immutable laws, I have my own law. What kills must die.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another Rippaverse round table. Today, we're going to be talking everything Zalen because tonight is the closeout, 11 p.m. Central. The Zalen collection will be closing down. I'll try to keep tabs on the numbers as we discuss everything, but I do know that cover A has already sold out. It sold out actually a while ago, but there's a chance a lot of the other items sell out as well, so be sure to keep tabs on that, or actually just go ahead and purchase the items now so you can avoid maybe missing out on those. So we appreciate everybody's support. I know the other day we hit that great milestone for Zalen of $250,000 in total sales, so thank you all for that. We are closing in on 8,700 total books sold, so thank you on that as well. So I'm going to go round table, since this is the round table. Well, myself, hopefully, I am the founder of Rippaverse Comics. I write here. I almost said Zalen. I did not write that. Don't give me any credit for that. Salvage, Saoirse, all the stuffs. So those are some of those you can get in RippaZines. Obviously, ISOM has its own title. And Saoirse, as well as Salvage, they will be getting, however, a graphic novel as well as a full length. Well, for Saoirse, that is, she'll get an ongoing series. I'll just say that. So that's all that I do here, and everything else behind the scenes. And of course, I'm joined by my right hand and Carol, who is the writer, because we are going to talk that as well. Actually, we're probably going to open with that, talking dirty deeds. writer of Dirty Deeds, which everybody seems to love. That is Carol. Carol, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. On top of writing Dirty Deeds, I do whatever Eric does, which involves either like chasing after artists and writers or driving a truck for 6 hours. So it just depends, you know.
Very true. It ranges.
Yeah.
It does
I'm
range.
I'm a MacGyver. We make it work.
Also joined by the creative manager here at Rippaverse, Andrew, social media manager as well. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, boss? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Thank you for being here. We've got a phenomenal panel of creative people and me to have a great show for you tonight. So, I'm excited to be here as always. We've got the lovely Caro and Saska's. We've got the lovely Igor, because his hair is every bit as luscious as the ladies.
I came ready. We're gonna fight Igor.
Yeah, puts us to shame.
And we're gonna be talking some dirty deeds and some Zalen tonight, guys and gals. So I want to see a lot of dirty deeds demands. That could be taken a few ways, couldn't it? In the chat.
I like the inappropriate of that sentence. That was good.
It's good.
Make it happen.
Appreciate you, Andrew, joining us. Of course, joined by, I think, the first time on the Roundtable.
Yeah.
Although you've seen him, of course, on some of the like Control Z and some of the other things. Igor does a little bit of everything in our art editor, as well as all the graphics that you see. Does a lot of illustrations for those. Igor, man, how you doing?
Hello. Thanks for having me. Glad I could join this one.
Yeah. Good to have you, man. Appreciate everything you do, all your insight, man. He does a lot behind the scenes. So big shout out to Igor. And of course, joined by Jen and Sylvia, Saska's writer of Yaira. They do editing, lore masters. They do a little bit of everything as well. Ladies, how you doing?
We are doing awesome. You know, my least favorite part about Dirty Deeds was that it ended. Unlike the rest of y'all, I've read the whole thing, and it is it's a gut punch in the cosmos. And there's
What do you want?
a few spoilers. I won't tell you what, that will make you laugh, make you cry. And yeah, you're really gonna love it. Not saying you guys should demand a full book, but I think you would.
I think you totally should.
Oh, you should demand a full series.
And hi, chat. I just sit here and look pretty. I don't do nothing. No, I don't do nothing. What I'm doing right now,
that's it.
I'm pretty sure you did like a lot with Blood Ruth.
just a tiny little itty bit. I'm
all of it.
Much to everyone's dismay, I am in love with Zalen.
Same.
And I have been.
I had not heard this.
He's perfect.
Didn't know anyone liked him.
He's such a good man, and he's also very violent, and I love that combination.
I like that part of the book when he was shirtless. I was really into that. We could do
guys,
that
no spoilers, but whew.
What kills must die? That doesn't sound like a violent guy to me. You guys think?
No,
He's a
no.
look
But
That sounds like
A pacifist.
passion, man.
That's what it is.
It's Space Hacksaw Ridge.
You trespass, he's like, you gotta go.
Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited for Zalen. I'm sad that cover A is already sold out. Cover B, I don't know. It might be my favorite because I really love the retro one this time.
Man, yeah, Frank Fosco did a
that's
great job on
Yeah.
that. And that was he was requested by Chuck.
Oh.
Chuck was like, hey, for you guys that don't know, Frank Fosco, he's done a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff back in the Gap. And yeah, he was like, yeah, Frank would love to do a cover. I was like, all right, let's chat now. Got to chat with him, cool dude. And yeah, he did that throwback cover. Loved how it turned out, and it's just perfect for the style, right?
It's the most throwback cover we've had.
Yeah, exactly.
to
Like
date.
the art in itself is throwback.
He's got the Kirby crackle. It looks silver and Bronze Age. Like it's about as throwback as a cover can be.
My favorite part of Frank's cover was when Andrew and I saw it and we're like, who did this? And so we were like looking for like the signature. It's like his name is something Frank. Like and so then I had to go into like Eric's email to find it.
Yeah. So yeah, big shout out to all of the cover artists. We're gonna look at all that stuff here in a bit and show some love. But I do want to also talk about, just before we get going, if I can pull all of this stuff up. Surveys have gone out for RippaZine number 3. Dirty Deeds, little ragtag. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pull some stuff up here in a bit. Carol, if you want to just kind of sell everybody on what the pitch just for Dirty Deeds was, as far as this is general story?
So Dirty Deeds follows the space ragtag team where you're not quite sure if they're doing the right or wrong thing. It kind of depends on like where you stand on that kind of stuff. But basically, like some stuff goes down, they happen to be there, and they're like, okay, well, we'll play ball and see what happens. The story was really inspired by a bunch of different sci-fi elements that my father and I really liked. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, so excuse me for revisiting this part, but my dad and I, like when we were like rebonding with each other after like a traumatic thing, like it was actually over sci-fi because it has like a common language in it. So Dirty Deeds has a lot of elements that my father and I really liked in sci-fi, and so sometimes like I've seen some really great comments, and some people are kind of like, it makes me think about this, and I'm like, good, because it might be inspired by that. So
Yeah,
there's a lot.
It is. I mean, and it's just so the way that it goes is just so much that obviously more stories that can be told in this, and it does seem that a lot of people like that because it is a change of pace. To be fair, from what we've been the different types of stories that we've already been telling with the Rippaverse, so that's why it was a no brainer for me, at least from the editorial perspective. And obviously, Evan did a great job on the artwork. Marco, let's go on the colors. Really reliable guy there, got things done. And yeah, just I'm glad that everybody is enjoying it, especially those guys that are more so into obviously like the sci-fi aspect of it all, and they seem to love it. Andrew, I know obviously you had early looks on all of this, and you also have the inside perspective because you helped kind of build out all of our surveys. What's been the general feedback? Well, first of all, I'll give your feedback on it as far as how you digested the story of Dirty
Just act
Deeds.
like I'm not here, and that I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Act like Carol's not here.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna gas her up at all. I don't even know who you are. That's a damn lie. No, Dirty Deeds is so much fun because it is. I am very particular with the type of sci-fi things that I enjoy. And it just so happens that Dirty Deeds is this like amalgamation of all the sci-fi things that I enjoy. And so it's got some Firefly, it's got some Guardians of the Galaxy back when that didn't suck. It's got some Outlaw Star and Cowboy Bebop in there and just all these cool things. And all of the characters are completely unique from each other. You can see like inspirations where those might have been drawn from other things, but you're like, this is like, that's the coolest part of creation when it comes to character archetypes is taking things. It's like, well, I like this about this type of character and like this about this type of character. How do I take those things? How do I flip it around? How do I make it into something new and unique and my take on these things that plenty of people already love? And Caro did such a phenomenal job with that. See, I said I wasn't going to gas her up, but here I go. She did such a phenomenal job with the Dirty Deeds crew because every single one of them is so much fun, and there's different reasons to love and get attached to each one of them. Like you guys only got a taste, just a little taste in the zine. There's so much more, and based on y'all's feedback from the surveys, y'all want more. So keep spamming that you want more Dirty Deeds in the chat because it's there's some cool stuff potentially down the road.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting, or I have been seeing some of the feedback, and it does seem to appear that pretty much everybody enjoys it. So I'm obviously all for it, right? I'm all for us having yet another story that we can expand upon with our universe, but it does seem that this does have more of a special connection, to a lot of the audience members out there. Jen and Sylvia, you obviously have read Dirty Deeds as well. What's been your perspective on it?
I can't spoil it.
I will.
Okay. There is a thing that y'all should be pre-ordering ISOM 3 because it's a big part of the universe. But Caro also knows the secret thing, and she weaved it really well into her story, and it's something I've never actually seen done in sci-fi before. And it's a really smart idea. It's a really cool idea for redacted. Happy Andrew. And I think when people read it, they're going to be very surprised. And I think really good sci-fi, as fantastical as it is, it's grounded in really good characters that you can relate to. And there's a lot of different characters and different things that they go through that you can relate to and also get inspired by. And it kind of makes you feel cool while you're reading it. Like you go to see a movie and then you come out and you have like a little bit of a strut because you feel like you're part of the gang. That's Dirty Deeds.
Oh yeah, I love each individual character. Each one of them could easily have their own book. They could easily have their own origin story, their own side adventures, because they're so well developed and they're so absolutely original and unique together. And they're also so different, but they're kind of through NDA forced to come together. And I really love things that you guys don't know about that are part of their backstory and part of where they're going. If I, with a gun to my head, I'd probably say Felsiar is my favorite, because as soon as I saw him, I was like, I'm not going to be seduced by him. And then 60 pages later, it's like, it's too late.
He's just a sexy boy.
It's too late. I love
Spingy's so freaking cute.
Yeah.
I love
Everybody loves that guy.
Yeah, I love
People are already demanding a Spingy plushie.
Yeah,
Oh,
love him.
imagine.
and Spingy has connections elsewhere as well. So if any of you are smart farts, you might be thinking when you're picking some books up.
Yeah, we had a
NDA,
good
of
fest
course.
over that. Like,
Yeah.
like the three of us got together. It's like, let's talk spider people.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and also, Chuck really liked them too. He had some really nice.
Yeah, he
things
did.
to
He
say,
did.
'cause
Yeah.
he's going into space, and then he's like, "Who are these guys? I love them." And it's like, it's kind of cool to have somebody who's like is like a legend in this business look at something and be like, "This is really cool." And that's what you see when you look at Dirty Deeds. You're like, this is a fully fleshed out idea. These characters are cool. It's totally immersive. I want to know more about them.
Yeah, and they have such amazing backstories that they could just go on forever.
Yeah,
You know, because they have like a group mission together and things that, you know, maybe they disagree on, but they also have their own needs and their own wants and their own desires, which kind of brings them together and forms them to be a team.
Yeah.
I
I
like
wonder-
a family
Yeah,
almost.
I wonder if Dakuman is going to have an idea about them.
If you got the cards, guys.
Maybe.
I don't. If
Perhaps.
you're not buying the cards, which I call the spoiler cards, I don't know what you're doing.
They have the good
Kind of
stuff.
spoilers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a
You
lot.
should be getting those for sure. So I'll let Igor. I do want him to talk kind of some of the art. Obviously, you've worked definitely when we started to involve you in the process a lot from the editorial side. You know, you worked with Marco. Let's go hand in hand. But what was it like seeing kind of Evan's art coming in? Because I do like his style. He has this kind of. It's not quite all the way like Japanese influence, but it's like infused kind of in it.
Yeah.
But it does have still a Western feel. I just love everything about it. But what was your take on Evan's artwork through the story?
Yeah, it looks like comics, right? Like what I love in comics, at least, like because this is kind of my stuff, like what I try to bring in my style as well. Whereas like he's very dynamic, but also like you said, it's a bit of comics, a bit of manga. I know those two words mean the same thing, but like kind of that Japanese style. Some panels is like more cartoony, and then it's full on like Berserk or something like that. Like I just love it. Like the panel where there's like this sword hit. Like perfection for me.
Might have
like,
to pull that up because
like,
that is good.
That's straight out of Berserk, and it looks
it's
so
amazing.
incredible from Evan.
You're drinking from like something that has nothing to do with it on theory, but then like dark fantasy, and then you bring it into like a space story, and it just works. I love the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I don't even need to see this in color. This looks amazing. And then Marco, like you said, like very reliable guy, very
like love him.
Consistent, like he knows what he's doing for every page. He knows when to. He doesn't like take away from the drawing. He adds to it, because sometimes colors tend to make like the art get lost in itself, and it's very difficult to balance that. Especially with like very dynamic pages, like he lets the art breathe.
Right.
And it's very, very good to see. Like that, the panel that I'm mentioning, like people will see and instantly know, like both the colorist and the artist did such a phenomenal job together. It's like they were talking, like which doesn't happen in comics a lot, but it's like they were talking, like the page works. It's very cool.
Yeah, it is interesting, especially with Marcos. I mean, look, working with if I've learned nothing else, it's just working with a you can find a good colorist that just knows what they just get it right. You hold on to them. But Marcos, yeah, he has, and he's obviously done some of the upcoming Great War stuff that people are going to see with 2. And I really like how those styles aren't necessarily the same because they're different artists, right? And he does a really, really good job in adapting that, like that vision of what the art, obviously the artist as well as the writer is trying to portray in their artwork. Instead of just sticking to like his style, I guess, so to speak, it's more, I want to complement the story and I want to do what makes sense. And yeah, you can sure make the argument that, you know, any decent artist should be doing that, but it's something special about Marcos. And again, he's very, very reliable. The reason we bring that up is because we've had some shaking and moving you know, behind the scenes because it happens. Like, you know, we have someone that's coloring something and they got another obligation and all that. Things happen all the time. And Marco has been one of those reliable guys. He's like, okay, I'll step up to the plate. I'll do it. And every time he just absolutely knocks it out the park. And I just love working with guys like this. Carol, we brought it up, you know, rather unprovoked, but everybody loves Spengy.
Ugh.
Everybody, it seems.
Carol's wearing a Spengy t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's rocking a t-shirt there. Creating this arachnid, you know, and not just going the tip, because we know the notable spider folk that are out there, but you wanted to go this route, obviously making them sort of mechanic. Like what was your approach in creating him?
So usually when I think about like creating characters, I think about like the intended audience for that character. So like when I thought about Arid, I was like, okay, guys that like, you know, grumpy swordsmen who brood in the corner a lot, right?
And who are super deep.
Yeah, very deep thoughts, right? But with Spengy, I wanted to make a character that like, you know, girls that like creepy things would be like, I like that, right? And so I was like, okay, so let's make a cute little spider guy. And what's he gonna do? Well, he's a spider, he's a builder, he's gonna build stuff, and he's gonna repair things. So it was just natural that he would be like the ship engineer. And I always kind of like the cute, quirky engineers because they bring a lot of character to the crew. And like that kind of like cute innocence, it kind of like helps balance a lot of like the seriousness that other characters will have as well. So because if you have like a super serious like group all the time, it kind of brings like the mood down. But if you've got like that one character that's just kind of like, I'm a doctor now, right? Then you know, it evens it all out. So
it's I'm actually I'm gonna pull something up just because I just got thinking as we were talking about it, especially when we're talking about that, like some of like the sword scenes and everything. I'm gonna pull some of this up.
I will say that the shirt was actually a demand from Andrew, though, because when Eric came and he was like, yeah, just tell Kanan 2 shirt designs, immediately Andrew was like in my DMs being like, please make a Spengy shirt. Please make a Spengy shirt.
I knew everyone was going to love Spengy. And what happened?
You were right.
Andrew can tell the future, and everybody loves Spengy.
Everybody loves Spengy. Not wrong at all. But yeah, it was I try to, especially moving forward, letting our creatives do their thing. Okay, you got some bright ideas, just figure it out. I just like, it's a thing I need to be done, so it's like, figure it out. Shirts, bam. And yeah, you guys came up with some phenomenal ideas. I know everybody likes the merch. A lot of that stuff has been sold out as well. But yeah, just you know, you got a very, obviously this is ragtag team. You got guys coming from different walks of life. It does seem, and then we had that, and big shout out to you for helping come up with the trailer, which really gets things going, as well, to just let the audience in on who these guys are. But you get this feeling that it's just a bunch of cats, like, you know, they're teaming up, but they all are very, very different characters. Was the intent, Carol, to just like, okay, I want to, like, what was the approach? Because I don't know if it was, I want to make each character so very different that, you know, like why on earth are they sticking together? Like, what was the approach there?
I mean, it was, I'm a really big fan of like character driven stories. So like that was the first thing. And so I wanted to make characters that I like, right? And that's what I call them, my babies. But then after like I made the characters, you know, then the next question is obviously like, why are they together? And does that reason make sense? Right. And there was actually, I don't know if he's watching, but A Drink with Crazy, you've been on his stream.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He invited us out to his place to have a barbecue, like all the way out in Iowa, which is actually the home of Star Trek, right? That's where the Starfleet was. And so when my husband and I were making like the 2-hour drive over to his place, you know, it's like, hey, since we're passing all these cornfields, let's talk about the story and like plot it out, right? And so we plotted the whole reason about why they were together and why it worked. But I want to say like probably the keystone reason that I really wanted to focus on is actually Star Trek related. So like the thing with Star Trek is even when the crew is having a really tense time with things that are going on, they're always united, right? But a lot of media right now, when they make cast of characters, they want them to fight because they think that's sexy. And I wanted to go back to the way that Star Trek was, where we were all working together for a cause. And even if we had like a problem, we would figure it out and keep going. So look at my baby. He's so fierce.
Yeah. I love this. I love, I mean, is a very just dynamic kind of, as far as with his R. Evans, like dynamic like storytelling, man. Like I just love everything, the motion and everything. He just captures so very well. You feel like the comic is in you. It's moving. Like I mean, he does just a great job of capturing all the action with it. So yeah, when I remember when Carol, and by the way, just to let everybody in on it, how I was presented, it was pretty far along. I mean, I got the idea of it back when, but Carol really, you know, stepped up and really showing me this story kind of conceptualized. So I started seeing Evans' work, right, come in, or some of the line work, and I'm like, man, this guy is solid. This guy's really, really good. And the story in itself is obviously great, but to have a, you know, artist, like I say, it's not as far as maybe some of you guys first time maybe hearing about Evan, and this is what I love about the company so much, is that we got these just so much talent out there. I know Igor can attest. There's just a lot of just comic book talent that's out there, and sure, they may not be doing things with the major publishers or anything, but they're out there and they're extremely talented. And we loved what Evan was coming up with, and just some of the artwork just for this book is among some of the best.
Yeah.
Real quick, I know we'll talk with everybody else about a little more about Dirty Deeds, but I do want to kind of again asking. I know I'm bombarding kind of Carol, but when you had a writer here of the damn story, it's easy to bombard her with questions. But do you have a general direction? I mean, I know the answer to this, but I want to see how you're going to weasel your way around answering this without breaking.
I am here
on stream. When you wrote, look, RippaZine, you only got 15 pages, 16 pages. You don't have that much to go with, right?
Mm-hmm.
That said, were you already kind of more or less planning the future in the event that the audience said, this is something that I want, when you were initially even writing the story? Because I know everybody's different. Like some people just write up to a point, and then if they keep it going, whatever, they'll start writing then. Some folks write ahead. I know I do that a lot, especially with like the documentation with the Universe Bible. I was writing ahead for all that work that I was coming up with. How do you approach Dirty Deeds? Is it something that you like fully conceptualizes the direction that they were going in, or were you kind of like just waiting? I'll tell this little story and I'll just wait and see.
So initially when I pitched it to you, if I remember the way I said I'm going to do it one way or another, right?
You did say that.
Yeah, because I really do like the story and I really like the characters. And when I made the first 16 pages, I knew regardless of how our conversation went, I was still going to do it. But I don't think I started fleshing out after the first 16 pages until I saw like your reaction to like the pages I sent you, because like you guys don't know this, but like when Eric gets like really likes something or he likes an idea, it gets like this twinkle in his eye.
It does.
Yeah. And so when I saw the twinkle in his eye, I was like, that's it right there. So after you said, yeah, let's go ahead and figure this out, I went and did the rest of that arc. Now granted, I think I had a conversation with you at one point being like, if we have to pivot and do something else, I have like plan B, like it's over here. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I fleshed out a story arc that would tie into everything that we're doing right now. And then I also made an arc that would be kind of like what happened before. So There's
Okay.
no NDA spoiled in that.
Yeah, no, that was a very good job. That was a fantastic job, actually.
Boo.
Yes.
What a pro.
Oh
Thank you.
man, she's good. No, but like, yeah, it is interesting to see because look, I say that a lot because I'm a nerd for the like market response as far as the customers are concerned. Because being an artist for as long as I have been, especially in music, I've learned that just because you are a big fan of that thing personally, like a song, there are so many songs that we have done that you're like, man, we went in the studio, we killed it. People absolutely love it. They're what we believe that they are. And it's not to say that people think it's bad, but that's not it's always these other tracks sometimes that people are like, oh no, I really, really like this, which you didn't expect. One of those songs for us, my band, I say it all the time, is Be Great. Like that song is one of our most popular songs. It was not written with that in mind. Like it's even a different change of pace. It's one of our more hardcore like songs as far as the genre. I mean, hardcore as far as the genre, right? It's not as metal as some of the other ones, and a lot of people gravitate towards it. So it's the same thing with what we're doing at the Rippaverse, where I think everybody tries to do the best job that they possibly can. But you still never know. You never know, like if people are like, oh, like Horseman as an example. We've talked about that a million times. Chuck didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did. I didn't expect it to blow up the way that it did. New character, kind of off brand for what we were doing at the time, and he just absolutely exploded. That is what I love to look at, is that market feedback with each story. And it has been something, at least from what I'm seeing. Obviously, Andrew and the team, they have the surveys and they're looking at a lot of those comments that are coming in. But from just some of the comments that I've gotten on various forms of social media, it does seem that people are like really, really intrigued in a literal sense by this team in Dirty Deeds, or this general story. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we'll analyze that and we'll give you more of a formal like announcement. Okay, we're going to end up doing this. But that's the point of the RippaZine. That's why they're so important. You guys go out there, show love, let us know if you like it, if you didn't like it, whatever. Just let us know how you feel about it. But yeah, this one was pretty unanimous from what I've seen, that people just like it. You've seen some of the other surveys. I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, Andrew. You've seen some of the other surveys.
Mm-hmm.
What's the like temperature on this one versus maybe even in comparison to some of like surveys for like Salvage or some of the other RippaZines that we've done?
It's actually pretty remarkable. And right now, we've, as a company, with the different genres we've tapped into, because we started tapping into genres that are usually considered like more niche than comic books already are as a medium, right? Like
right.
Typically, perfect example, horror comic books do not do particularly well, right? They're extremely niche. Bloodruth just blew right the hell up.
Everybody loves
right?
it. Like even when we go to conventions, people are like, give us Bloodruth.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. And that it blew up before they even read the thing. And then people loved it even more afterwards,
that, like,
right?
The black and white, like the idea alone, because we're always talking about it. Oh, we should release this or that in black and white. Like, what if? But then
Michael's art works perfectly for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is.
So, he's so good. And his art style pairs. It pairs
perfectly with the black and white. Yeah.
Isn't
it's a perfect marriage with y'all.
Right now, he's taking commissions, right?
maybe take advantage of him while he can. But what I mean to go down that direction is that right now the Rippaverse has been doing this thing where like genres that don't typically perform that well in the mainstream are performing, at least in terms of a ratio, so much better over here. So like Bloodruth on the horror end, right? It performed incredibly well. Zalen, What Kills Must Die, has been performing incredibly well. It's a cosmic story. Cosmic story is usually incredibly niche. Dirty Deeds is a sci-fi story. Now, sci-fi comic books also are in that like lower niche category, but we have this benefit of because of the space that we occupy, we've got so much crossover with people who love Star Trek, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, things like that. And so it's kind of like the perfect storm, and the survey results have been speaking to that, because the dirty, when you said it's been overwhelmingly or unanimously positive and wanting more dirty deeds, that's not at all inaccurate. That's actually like almost an undersell. And that's another credit to just kind of the quality of the writers that we have here at the Rippaverse, because like, say, for the more noir, detective, private investigative genre, right? Like, people were demanding more salvage and people were demanding more Sersha, and the survey results spoke to that overwhelmingly so. And it's really cool to see, because that's showing that people are willing to branch out into other genres that maybe they weren't initially. If they were just reading DC and Marvel comics or whatever the publisher, maybe they would just stick to their typical supers, right? Or stick to their more gritty street level vigilantes. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But over here, we're seeing a lot of comments, whether it's on social media, whether it's in the Discord, whether it's on the survey with the feedback comments, where people are saying, I don't normally gravitate towards sci-fi, or I don't normally gravitate towards that noir detective stuff. And yet I really loved Salvage, or I really loved Dirty Deeds, and I will absolutely support a full release of it.
You were fucking sneaky with that too. I'm sorry, I cussed. You were so sneaky with that. You didn't tell any of us what you were doing. It's suddenly like, bam, there was Salvage, and we were like, boss.
No, I messaged him, and I was like, MFer, like, you had never even hinted.
I didn't even mention.
You knew squat about like noir detective stories, and then I read Salvage, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
And then it's Bart Sears, right? Like, it's not just a story.
It's Bart Sears. He doesn't get Joe Blow. Yeah.
So good.
He doesn't get Anders stick figures. He gets freaking Bart Sears. Like,
and then at one point, like, suddenly, like, Kanan was doing like sexy redheads, and I was like, what is this? And he was like, oh, it's the next RippaZine. We were like, what? And then we were all going to Eric being like, yo, what is this thing that you're
There's just sexy, I didn't notice.
Oh man. Yeah, those are fun. Look, I love what you're bringing up, because I think as the Rippaverse continues down its path and growing, you're going to see so many different stories. And you put it perfectly, Andrew, in that because we have this stable of writers that have other tastes and they have other like things that they like, genres that they enjoy. So while you have the more safer bets, the ISOMs, right? Those are more safer bets. We also, and because of our awesome audience, our lovely audience here that will give that stuff the time of day, we get to branch out and do other things. So not only does it help kind of us in terms of obviously the fulfillment and just the general enjoyment of writing these fun, different, maybe quirky, even niche stories, we also have the audience that is willing to, that we're serving, that's willing to even give it the time of day, and you get to showcase all of your talents that you have. And like, the safe bet was ISOM and the creation of Yaira and all that, but I love the detective noir stuff, all those old Blonde Ices, the old like detective noir, like this 20s, 30s, all those films and stuff that I used to watch with my grandmother. Like, those were fun, and I was influenced by them. And now I had the outlet, especially with Salvage, to kind of entertain that. But the same is said for all the other stories. Like, take the sisters. Yaira, right? You have that story. It does have some elements of what you would anticipate that comes from the Saskas, but it is a different change of pace from Bloodruth, right? Bloodruth is a different styled book. And then, you have some of like, there's some NDA stuff that they've done as well that's different from both of those.
There's some NDA stuff that we were talking about the other day, boss, that I'm so glad you gave us the opportunity to do, because if it was a film that was in that genre, people would be like, no, you're not allowed, you can't do that, you'd never be able to do that. But I'm like, I actually can. And I really love the opportunity to do that. I can't wait to spoil that. But that, and the art of that NDA, holy poop, is it amazing?
Yes. It is.
That's a good point, because Eric is talking about like, oh, the public allowed us to do this and that, but that's credit to Eric as well, because the risk behind that is so big that most companies don't do that.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to comic books, like most companies stick to a genre and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you don't see more markets like the Japanese anywhere else, like where they tackle any genre and they just go over everything, like horror for
And
instance.
baseball and soccer.
Yeah, and
cooking.
I'm a big horror fan, and there's a great video on Lotus Eater for anyone who loves comic, where they go over the history of comics, and one of the things that they talk about is how, like, basically the seals of approval just killed the horror genre for decades.
Oh, yeah.
And you basically don't see it outside of Dark Horse. So now we do that, like, and there is credit to Eric because we listened to the fans and they mentioned like horror over and over again.
They did.
And then like they showed up in Bloodroof. And,
Oh, yeah.
But there was still risk, and Eric was willing to take it because
it helps flesh the world out as well, that we are able to entertain.
You managed to integrate that.
Yeah,
very smartly.
And that's what's so fun about it. I mean, obviously, yeah, we're blessed to have this awesome audience, and by having that demand for these different style comics and us having the talent to be able to tell those types of stories, everybody's benefiting from the fans to us, is that we're able to creatively do all these different things. But I think everybody benefits, both fans and us, from us having this fleshed out, connected universe, right? And as you would think, within a universe, there's not just one type of thing going on, right, in that world, right? So you can tell different flavors as far as stories of different flavors. You can tell those. And the fact that our audience does go show up for these various different types of stories is awesome. Like look at Chuck. Chuck, perfect example. The Horseman and Zalen is probably the extreme end, which speaks to how talented he is.
Yeah.
And Joe as well, because he's depicted both of these stories. They're on the extreme end of like the complete opposites of one another, right? One is street level, vigilante, and then you have this other that is otherworldly, cosmic, right? It's just big in its mere existence. And those are two completely different stories. And to have people showing up the way that they have for either of those helps us. It really does assist us in making our universe feel like authentic, feeling real, and in a place that you can get lost in, because you there's so many different types of things going on. And obviously, as far as new readers, it helps them as well, because we know that it's different strokes to different folks. As I said, since I started the company, if this one book, like I saw at the beginning, is not your flavor, right? There is eventually, if not already, going to be a book that is more up to your speed. And big shout out to the audience, man, for continuing to show up every single collection that we have and being as responsive as they are, as well. And we have a very interactive audience. You guys know that, and they'll let us know, they'll speak about it, and we pick up on that. It's not like we're some mega corporate entity that's listening to shareholders and all that. Like, no, we're listening to you, and we're trying to mix things that we enjoy creating, but it has to be for an audience, right? At the end of the day, for it to make sense. So we're also analyzing, which is why we do the surveys, which is why we do RippaZines in the first place, because we're constantly trying to analyze like what people want and what the actual demand is, which is ever changing, to be fair. The world is not the way that it was 2 years ago even. So it's a constant, like, we keep our hand on the pulse of the audience, man. And I really am blessed that we have all of y'all around that show us love, man, with every single collection. You guys are incredible. So
we're in a very blessed position to be able to branch out, because we've built up some good faith and goodwill with the audience, right? Our fantastic audience, best fans in the world. It's not even close. You say it all the time, but we've built up that rapport, and so we're able to branch out and try those new things, right? We're able to try the horror genre. We're able to try the sci-fi and the cosmic and all these other things. Freaking noir detective stories, damn it! Like we're all over the place now, and we're only able to do that because of how fantastic and supportive the fans have been.
Yeah,
and we've built up that faith. And what makes that even better than it already is on its own is that every single comic is somebody's gateway drug into the medium.
Yeah.
Every single comic book was somebody's first comic book.
Absolutely.
right? I started, with one book. You started with another book, but everybody has a book that gets them hooked onto the idea of the medium, and that can lead them into trying out other books. Like, okay, wow, I really liked this book. I like this character. I like this writer. Let's see what else they've done or what other stories are being told in the world that this character occupies. All of a sudden, now they're not just a fan of the one character. Now they're a fan of 3, 4, 5. Maybe they're insane like you and reading literally everything on the shelf, like right when you were back doing in the Gap, right? So, and that's a beautiful thing because that just makes the entire industry more healthy the more that happens, and we're in a very blessed and fortunate position to be able to do that and to have a stable of writers and artists who kind of touch such a wide array of genres and do it very well. Like with the Saskas, like everybody was screaming about how good Bloodruth was. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the Saskas absolutely in their element. And this is now, a lot of people saying like, this is my favorite book now, the Rippaverse and things like that. And we get to have that because we have this great stable of writers and creatives, and because our fans have been so gracious with us. And it's an amazing thing to be a part of.
100%. And Eric, the most criticized man in comics, but these are all your characters. We have not done an original character. Every character we've done is your guys. Like Yaira, super popular, gave us the opportunity. Bloodruth, super popular, gave us the opportunity.
Lillian and Michael, and you gave me the opportunity to not have to work with this nightmare.
Finally, I'm free from Jen. Thank you. I appreciated that. It's the first time we've written anything separately. Guys, my pages are already in. I feel like I've already won, but out of sympathy, maybe by a couple of Jens because I feel bad for her.
Once you guys find out who my artist is, you're not even going to think about Black Eye Club. Like, buy it just because, she has esteem issues.
Yeah, it's a petty buy, right? Petty buy.
We need to talk shit. We're confident.
They both go together good, guys. I know we're not talking about that right now, but damn, that's another amazing opportunity, boss. Thank you so much for letting us write your first villain books.
Yeah, that's
that is crazy.
First villain books?
Yeah, because when you said, what do you want to write next? I'm like, villains, mean, bad. They didn't, you bad childhood. No, they're just pieces of shit.
Every universe needs good villains, right? Like there's no way to go without them. Yeah, I love to hate them.
Well, to be fair to the sisters, they've obviously helped create some awesome characters. That Stefania, it may be the biggest one that they've helped create that a lot of fans are starting to gravitate towards, but also with some of the Bloodruth family members. And the villains as well. Crowley, I know a lot of people are love them. So look, and we have some other NDA stuff of characters that you guys did create. So the fact that it's a sandbox for everybody, for both the creators as well as you guys, the audience, is what this is about. And we have a lot of active projects, right now of different styles. It's a bunch. Yeah, we talked about it. It was some stuff that we've been doing internally to just get everybody on the same page because we got so much going on, right? And it's hard to keep up with. It can be. So it's a fun time. And again, just thankful that all of you all just show up and show out every single collection. But we have to let me show y'all this. We have to obviously talk Zalen.
Space Daddy
What
time.
Kills Must Die by the legendary Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. They are the dynamic duo here for us, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job with everything that they've done. Alpha Core Horseman, and now we have Zalen, colored by, of course, Marcos Martins, who is, I saw him in the chat earlier. He's a great dude, one of our best colorists here. A lot of people that have seen the artwork and even some internally have gone out on a limb and called this the best looking book that we have put out. And it'll be in your hands in no time. And we close this thing down tonight at 11 p.m. Central. Now, as we've talked about before, with Chuck himself and how this was generally conceptualized and how they kind of brought this idea up to me, similar to the Horsemen. It's like, you know what the Rippaverse needs? And then they give me this pitch and I'm like, yeah, we can try it. And I think it was a perfect timing thing because we did want to have this sort of just to really flesh out this universe, to have a more cosmic feeling character that isn't of Earth, rather, and it still feels like the stakes can be up there, like can feel high, as we document here in our description. But what I'll go round table here because obviously all of us were involved somewhat in the editorial kind of process. Let's start with you, Carol, because you're usually there early on, like with myself, and that you start to see, oh, Chuck brought up this idea, Joe brought up this idea, and we start to kind of see it, and pencil gets put to pad, and we see it really fleshed out. What were your thoughts seeing some of these just concepts with Zalen come under fruition as far as his artwork is concerned?
It was like I wasn't invited to the channel right away, but when I was like scrolling back, like like a snooper, and I was like, wow, this is like also freaking amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like when we were doing like the initial like concept art for like Zalen, what his outfit looked like we had like two options, like let's just do both. Like maybe he'll change his clothes at some point. Like I don't know.
Why
Like they're
not?
both
Yeah.
they're both great. And what I thought was really amazing, it was like was right before we started doing Zalen, we had it's a survey, surprise. We had sent out another survey just to try and gauge like the interest of our fan base. And outside of superhero comics, it was we want more sci-fi. And so when Zalen showed up, I was like, it's a sign. Like Space Daddy is definitely like here. I'm totally into it. And he did like so much like fun, like little tiny things that he put in this that was just so funny and good. I absolutely loved it. And my favorite part of all of it was when we were talking to Chuck at one point, and he was like, yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be like a thing for this. And we're like, oh no, there's totally a thing for it.
There will be.
Yeah. So he was so humble about it. He's
was.
always humble every time.
He is. He's like, I don't know how the audience is gonna feel about it. It's like, man, they're gonna love this, especially once people get their hands on the book and they start to see it. I just think people are gonna open that up and just right out the gate seeing some of this artwork, and they're gonna be like, what in the world is this? It really does feel otherworldly. Andrew, you saw a lot of the stuff early on, especially once we get Marcos and his colors on it, man. What were you thinking as far as Zalen is concerned?
You had a comment a few moments ago about both Chuck and Joe's range of what they're capable of when it comes to their creation and their storytelling. Chuck able to write your brutal street level vigilante characters, and then he can also write this fantastical cosmic powerhouse that Zalen is. And Joe, those two types of stories require two very different types of illustration. You don't utilize the exact same paneling on those types of stories. You don't utilize the exact same type of cinematography, right? Because you're trying to, especially with something cosmic, you want to present a sense of scale.
Right.
And Joe is so freaking good at showcasing that scale. And when he first started turning in pencils, and man, I don't think people understand. I see conversations in the Discord because I'm very active in there, but I see conversations all the time about like people worried about Joe Bennett because they're like, man, like he's drawing Alpha Core and he's drawing Horseman and he's drawing Zalen. What if he and Chuck come up with something else? And I tell them, well, then he'll be drawing that too. And they're like, how's he going to do that? Because Joe's a machine.
Yeah,
he just turns in pages.
He just turned in some during the stream, not even joking.
Oh, he did. He absolutely did.
Yeah.
The man is just an absolute beast of an artist. He is so good. And guys, if you have not done so already, like if you already pre-ordered Zalen What Kills Must Die, which I'm sure you all did because it's an amazing book and you're all excited for it, also get that Art of Joe Bennett book because his raw pencil lines on the Zalen and on Horseman, but on Zalen for sure, it's absolutely incredible. It's stellar. Yes, pun intended. And then once we got, Fabio's inks on there and then Marcos Martin's colors, this thing just became one of the most unbelievable works that I've seen us put out so far. It is absolutely incredible.
I just want to buy his pencils.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I just hit a giant 24 by 36.
Like just wallpaper.
They are very expensive, I gotta say.
They're hard to
build. One inch at a time.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Man. He is, man. He is so good. He is a machine. He's a workhorse. Just the ultimate professional, man. Wants to keep working, loves what he does, and make sure he does the best that he can. And the work speaks really for itself. I know, Jenna Sylvia, you love you see a lot of stuff early on, and obviously being Lord Masters, you're entering some of that information in. What were your thoughts seeing Zalen pages come in, or even just at the earlier stages as this stuff started to get pitched to us?
Well, one of the greatest joys of working at the Rippaverse is getting to befriend artists like Chuck and Joe. And Joe and I had a conversation where he said a lot of the stuff and characters and designs that he wanted to do for Zalen were stuff that he pitched and we just rejected because he always wanted to do a sci-fi cosmic hero, but he got shot down, and it was like, oh my God, Joe, what kind of asshole would say no to any of this? I know it's one of the two big ones, but both of you
shame on you.
Shame. And I not only is the design of like, because we're no longer on Earth, spoiler alert, we're out there in the cosmos.
We're not in Kansas? What?
Wow.
We are not in Kansas. Not anymore.
It's just so beautiful. The character designs, and they're not, it's not like it you can look at it and be like, oh, that was based off such and such or so and so. That just came right out of Joe's mind, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And I read the script before I got to see Zalen, so I was already in love with him on paper. And then I got to physically see him, and I was like, "Oof, there's a good man right there. There's a good man right there."
Yeah, to touch on what Jen said, it's really cool what you've created here, Eric, because you ask people what they want to do, and when you usually work for a client at different comic books, they're usually telling you what they want you to do, and then you'll be like, "Oh, I was thinking this," and they're like, "Oh." And they give you a cookie cutter, like kind of like parameter, like, how about you just do it this way? And it's like, oh, I guess all these great ideas would just go on standby until one day I can pitch them and they go. And you empowered Chuck and Joe to do what they wanted. And what they did with Zalen is insane. Like, it's easily one of the best books you'll read this year, if not of all time. The artwork is insane. The alien planets are insane. The alien ships are insane. The aliens are insane. I need to check in on something regarding spoilers with you, Andrew. Andrew, have we mentioned any of people that might be working with?
No.
Okay, never mind.
No.
Zalen, and there's gonna be some guys there.
Oh, well,
Zalen
there's some guys there.
Are they guys though? Like maybe.
Well, they have some pretty cool characters. Plus Zalen that
they probably were mentioned by name on the retro throwback thing, but they were never identified.
Really?
Yeah, because I wrote that.
Yes. Okay.
So their names are on there.
Yeah, the names are. Yeah.
Bong is cool. Tala is cool.
Yeah.
The people I'm not allowed to tell you is cool. How the ship works is cool.
Oh, how the ship works is very cool. And Zalen's motivations are my favorite thing. Because I'd like to say he's like a space Jesus in the way that, like, if you were collecting taxes in the church, he's got his own rules as well.
He's gonna flip your table.
Yeah, he's gonna flip the table.
He's gonna.
That's like the most censored explanation of that I've ever heard.
and that's such an understatement, right? Like, he's gonna flip a table. Like, yeah, sure.
Hard.
I guess he can flip a table.
Yes, he can flip a table.
And I'm sure the table got flipped when somebody crashed into it. Like that definitely happened.
Pretty sure Jen flipped the table when she saw him.
Yeah, I did. You know, I actually, when he was first designed, he was entered as both Zalen and Zalem, and I was waiting for Joe to respond to me. And overnight, I actually dreamt of Zalen, and he turned to me and said, "My name is Zalen Dark," and I was like, whoa. And then Joe said, yeah, it's Zalen, not Zalem. And I was like, I don't need you to tell me. Zalen came to me.
Zalen told you.
And he already let me know. And I remember when I woke up, I was like, what's wrong with you? You're dreaming about this Zalen guy. But once you read Zalen, guys, I won't be the only one, although probably maybe because I'm a little bit weird and just a little bit sweet on Zalen, if you guys haven't noticed.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what it must have felt like watching Star Wars back in the day, like, because there aren't a lot of cosmic comics. There aren't. artwork like what Joe does in this, you don't see it every day. So it's kind of like has a real effect on you. You're like, wow, this is so engrossing and so in depth.
Yeah, it's been a long time since Jim Starlin, you know. It's been
Yeah.
a long time.
One of my favorites, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's one of the greatest. And now
Yeah.
if you look at any space stuff in the big two now, you're like, okay. Well, at least there's back issues.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Igor, on to you, sir.
Well, no, Igor, obviously, yeah, you've seen some of his fellow countrymen of our man's Joe,
Yes.
and you've seen some of, been part of the editorial process, so you really get that insight, and you work probably closer to, no, it's not probably, you do work closer with both, especially Fabio, but Joe and Fabio, than really all of us. What's been the experience there for developing a book that looks as good as something like Zalen?
Yeah, man, it's been a blessing. Like I was recently going over my Instagram, and I'm like close friends with Joe Bennett, like the Green Circle, and I'm like, man, what a life! Like this is like I get to talk to him directly and see his artwork, and he's very excited to show everything, because when I first started talking with him, like before Horseman was even a thing, like no one had any idea of what was going on. You had just greenlit it, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to see the pages?" And I'm like, No, I don't. Of course I do. Like, and he sent all of this like pencil pages. Everything looks amazing, and we got to actually like if anyone, whenever people get the art of like Zalen and everything, like for Joe's is like you must get it. If you're a fan of Joe Bennett, get it, because I tried my best to make the pages look as good as I possibly could with the pencils and everything, but they look insane.
Yeah.
And then like Fabio has the hardest task of all.
Yeah, I'm trying to ink that stuff, man.
Because
I wouldn't
Joe's a
want that job.
machine. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Definitely. But and then Marcus on top of it, like with the colors and everything. It's like it's such a good book. Buy two, and then just rip the pages and turn them into posters for one, because every page is like a poster on its own. Everything looks so amazing. Andrew was mentioning like the scale of everything, and just trying to convey that. And he does that so well, because Horseman's is a lot of tight spaces, and you get to see everything. Like Joe doesn't like save on backgrounds ever. Like he's gonna draw the backgrounds. He's gonna make it feel alive. If you read like Welcome to Florist Park, Horseman jumps into a scene and you can see like what the guys were doing there, like before he arrived. Like everything's lived. And Zalen's the same, but it's crazy stuff, like stuff you haven't seen before. The space feels alive. There are some monsters that are like, oh, the design is, how does he think of that, and then like comes up with the stuff in Horseman? It's beyond me. And Chuck is part of that process, and then Marcus comes in with the colors, and everything looks so good. I cannot, like, everything looks good is the understatement of the year. Like you guys have no idea. When you open the book in front of you, it's like, this is insane.
It's so good. I really like how they talk to each other too, because like I think we mentioned this like on the Horseman Roundtable, but like when you read, like I get to read the scripts, and it's always so delightful. But like there'll be parts where like Chuck is actually talking to like Joe in the script, and he's just kind of like, I'm thinking this, but that, but you have to draw it, so like whatever, and then it comes out on the page, and it's like this huge thing, and it was like, you didn't have to do that, and he was like, no, this is good.
And then it's just a panel, like, and then it turns into this like massive artwork that should be in a museum or something like that. Because Joe doesn't pull back, like he doesn't any punches, like he's all in for that. Like he shows his excitement on the pencils, like you can see that he loves what he does, and he loves the character, and he loves the opportunity of like creating these characters, because he always wanted to do that, and it's like he was reined in before, like he couldn't do everything, and this is like Joe Unleashed or something like that. He's doing what he really loves, and it shows in his work.
It does.
Like people really are gonna see that.
You bring up a perfect point there, in that it does feel like this is like he had a lot of passion, and it's hard to kind of put that into perspective or put it into words, but this is, and maybe that has a lot to do with just the genre and the style of comic that Zalen is, which speaks to really his talent. But it does feel like, just in comparison to some of the other work, obviously everything that he does is great. But man, it really does feel like, for lack of better terms, he put his foot in this story. It's just like so good. Put everything in it, and yeah, just a scale. I know that's the term that we've been using for everything, but you really do feel the scale of this story and just how like this is otherworldly. This is happening in space, and you get the feeling with each panel and in each thing that's being done that there's not only a lot on the line with the story itself, but you really do feel like, man, this is a really expansive sort of universe, man, and Joe did a great job of capturing it. So yeah, you guys, everybody showing love there. I know we're over 80. So I haven't updated the numbers yet, but I know that we are over 8,700.
Yeah, we're over 87 for sure.
8,700 books sold. So thank you all for that. You can still pre-order at rippaverse.com. I have it pinned. I don't have it pinned. I have it. Excuse me.
I pinned it already.
Oh, cool. Well, he pinned it, so it's there. But it's also in the description as well. And of course, we'll always have these covers are likely to sell out, but we will always have that in the cover D, which is the mass print. So if you want just a reader's copy, even if you don't get it tonight, you will be able to get that there. Let me get to some of these super chats. I want to do that along the way. Mark Field says, first time, I guess, on your channel.
Hey, Mark.
Positive vibes to you all. Well, thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Yeah, we started the roundtable so we could connect with you guys a lot more than what we had been doing in the past. And yeah, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate you, and we want to show our appreciation. So this is our way to connect. Raider with a 6438. That is not cheap. Thank you so much. Every time, everywhere, every stream that we're on, he always comes through, shows a lot of love. So Raider, $64.38. That is not cheap.
Numbers.
There's also no message there, so he just wanted to say nothing. So I respect it. Thank you, Raider. Love to see you here as always. Appreciate that. 6438. Thank you. We have Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, looking forward to Zalen. Also looking forward to potentially more dirty deeds. When will Spengy save the universe? We'll see.
When doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it'll, instead of what Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, it'll be Spengy saves the Rippaverse.
Yeah, I'm down. Appreciate that. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. I love to see you here, man. Our Browns with a 5 poor horseman. The ladies are leaving him behind.
I was always Team Zalen. Like, I've annoyed people to death about Zalen.
Yeah, I've always been kind of Team Michael Kopp.
Caro supports Hector enough for all of us combined.
That's her boyfriend.
I love Zalen so much. I was like, Chuck, just so I'm legit, like, he's single, right? He's single, you're not gonna make him a girl.
It will be now.
Got one.
Oh, good. I appreciate that. Love to see you here. We have Unicorn. You're a nationalist. Says with a Canadian 20. I would like Mr. July to take a moment to say a few kind words to Marvel for just handing him Joe Bennett on a silver platter. That did kind of happen. It was a timing thing. He had just not left there. They had wrongfully parted ways with him for nothing. And yeah, it was a blessing in disguise for us because he's one of the main artists here. Dallas, out of the kindness of their collective hearts and for no other reason. Yeah, obviously it was for some nonsense, but look,
we have a joke here that says if you want to get hired by Rippaverse, you have to be canceled. It's like a checkbox. It's like, have you been canceled? Like, what were you canceled for?
Yeah.
That seems right.
That
okay.
stupid thing. Yeah, we'll bring y'all. Look, man, we just care about guys doing good work, and it obviously it's sad what happened to him, but I know he's happy here. He's getting paid very handsomely to do work for us,
and he's getting to create.
He wants.
Yeah.
He's getting to create.
Yeah.
He's getting to design stuff that are his and Chuck's babies.
Yeah.
And he's having the time of his life. You can tell because when it comes to artists, you can see when their heart is in it.
That's true.
And every single panel, when you're turning every single page in Horseman and in Zalen, you can tell Joe is just having the time of his life.
Yeah.
he's having a blast. And again, we're thankful to have him here for all that he just, he does for us. He's just, again, an absolute workhorse. Always pitching me ideas, always like, hey, Rippaverse could use this, they could use that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. And then next thing you know, it turns into the Horseman or it turns into Zalen. So big shout out to him for showing all that love that he has been showing the Rippaverse as well through his hard work and just being an absolute machine. Johnny Red with a 20. Love to see you here as always. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that 20. And big shout out to Johnny. Big shout out to everybody, all the audience members that are there. I love seeing some of you guys and the familiar faces. I also agree with Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. It was another one that he said, no, it was jokingly. He said, buy Zalen for your horseman to pair with your ice so your Yara is a get it all. Yeah, get it all.
They can have a bros night out, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just get them all. Just get them all. I'm actually looking right now to see kind of where we're at with some of these, just to give everybody a sense of urgency. With some of these covers, I'm actually taking a look at where we're at because cover A is already sold out. You guys know that, but I know last time that I checked, it just loads up. The others were low as well. Okay, so we only have 28 cover B's left and 39 cover C's left. So
oh damn.
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and grab those because
man, we won't even have any for conventions. How's that?
Yeah.
Remember, guys, we don't reprint those.
Nope.
Cover D stays up on the shop as an evergreen cover, the mass print. A, B, and C, once they're gone,
that's it. They're gone.
Yeah,
so
grab a B and C for yourselves and grab a B and C for eBay.
Yeah, why not? Keep it, because again, we don't reprint those. The only time you may get lucky is we'll assess our stock and perhaps we'll put some, but if we put up some up for sale, it's gonna be like 20 of them. It's not gonna be that many at all if we have them. But also you may get lucky and get them at a con. We will be at Fan Expo, by the way, next month, at the end of next month. So going into June actually as well. So come holler at us. We'll have some more updates because that's going to be a great fun time. But yeah, maybe you get lucky and get some stuff there that is already sold out. But with us moving as quickly as we are, we do not just buy covers like we did initially on as far as our prints. As if we're just going to release one title a year. That's just not how we operate anymore, as you guys see, as we've put out several books already. And, we have a lot more on the way. So be on the lookout for it all. And we thank you guys so much for y'all support. Joe Music becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so much. Risky for the Biscuit said, whereas, it says my bookshelf is almost overflowing. Yeah. We do have a couple of ISOM short boxes that you can get. Maybe get a couple of those, but
we should get.
Maybe we need a cosmic short box with.
Maybe we need a horseman short box.
Maybe.
I'm down. I'm just saying,
and then a horror short box.
Oh, Bloodruth would be a great.
That
one.
would. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
I'm pretty sure Lillian would fit on there as well.
Well.
I'm just picturing it like a whole Bloodruth family thing, like around the box.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
A chick box, no pun intended, would be amazing too, with Yara, Bloodruth, Serja, Ingrid.
So many of them.
That could be the swimsuit special we keep doing.
Rinlin, maybe a swimsuit special.
Oh yes, Rinlin. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, now you're okay with it.
Whoa. Oh man. I love this comment here. Mystic said, I'm excited that there are lore master continuity is important to me. Yeah. Well, it's important to us.
We got you, Mystic.
That is one of the things that we focus on, obviously, if not more than anything, is the continuity. And that's not to say that we're going to be perfect with everything that we do, but it is something that we've been taking into consideration since the company was created. Since we put that's where everything started. In fact, I was building out the Universe Bible. Shout out to Carol, who's been here from day one, and she helped come up with like a template for our entries some of the things to look out for, and I was fleshing out like Isom and his family and everything. I did all that there, and it makes it very clean and easy for us to go back, give ourselves some reminders if we need them, but also for future writers and other creators. It's so helpful because we can, put that information or compile all that information for them so that they aren't writing themselves or writing us rather as a company into a corner because they're not paying attention to that type of stuff. So yeah, it was very important to me because you guys know that have watched my videos over the years when I was covering like comics. That was one of the things that I cared the most about, right? I cared so much about that aspect of it. And one of the frustrating bits was it constantly being ignored, especially with the repeat of events, and nothing felt like there was any stakes because it felt like they were just ignoring, putting out books just to be putting them out instead of actually trying to keep things cohesive. So one of the things that I wanted to do was make sure that all of that was being taken care of like initially, because yeah, even if you didn't start, well, you have to kind of start that way because, you know, if you're 10 years into it and it's been a free for all up until then, well, you're going to run yourself into all sorts of issues. So I wanted to make sure we took this into consideration from day one, and we did. And obviously I was upkeeping it for a while there, and then kind of, as a Mayday, right? I was like, sisters, help me out. When we brought them on officially in a more day-to-day role. And they do a great job of making sure that thing is kept up. And we talked a little
for us with all the new characters like every single day, guys.
yeah. They're in there working, and I'm so appreciative of them. And we talked about it last week. Somebody brought this up because I did do a video on the Creative Business channel where I was talking. Yeah, it's Creative Business, channel, and I did talk about like how we approach it, and I gave some people some recommendations. Definitely, if you're one of those aspiring creators out there that really care about your lore, there are some resources out there for sure. Big resources out there that can help you out in keeping that stuff up, because like Mystic says, customers care about that. Readers care about that. That's what's been so trippy for me to see. Folks just act like it's just a thing. Like, oh, who cares? Why have any of that? Just write along the way and figure it out. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think customers care a lot about that, because if we don't care about it or we're not showing that we care about it, it's very difficult for us to convince customers to care about it as well. And one of the ways to show that you actually have skin in the game or you're actually trying is to just keep a cohesive universe if you're constantly telling these various different stories. So yeah, the customers, they care about that type of stuff. And I say that from the customer's perspective. That was why it became part of our code of ethics here at the Rippaverse. So appreciate that, Mystic, because you bring up a fantastic point. Okay, we have my man's Bruce. I need a Rippaverse logo zip up hoodie. Large logo on the back, Rippaverse on the front to one side. Okay. Yeah, we haven't done zip up hoodies. I know we're entering into summer, so it's hard to think about that. Especially living in Texas.
It's definitely hard to think about that.
Yeah.
I will turn the warehouse into an ice box just so I could wear this hoodie.
Yeah, it's just hard. It's always hard. Like, it's like, oh man, we got to come up with some cold weather stuff, and then it's like 110 degrees outside where we're at. So we will. I do want to start making our, getting a little more creative with some of our like merchandise. So I think zip up hoodies are very realistic. I think I don't see why we couldn't do that. So I'm game. Drunk 3PR, I meant to point this out, is in the chat. Jay, who is the creator of the Achromatic Chronicle series, is over on RippaZine. You can still grab that. You've probably been seeing some of our little ads on that. You can still grab that right now, both Achromatic Chronicles green as well as blue on rippahverse.com. When you're checking out Flashes, Yellow Flash and John Dillard's Mighty Golden Patriot, if you don't already have it, it's a good time to grab Achromatic Chronicles as well.
And we're low stock on those collectors and connecting cover variants too.
Okay,
for
there you go.
Those connecting covers are amazing. I don't know what we're gonna do when like we come out with more, because like what will they connect with?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
yeah. Yeah, he's not wrong. There's not that many of those left. So if you have missed out on those, you may want to go ahead and get those because they ain't gonna be there forever. Big shout out to my man's drunk 3PO. Love to see you here. Joe, music with a 5 says, I need more dirty deeds now. Carol really brought her A game. I was hooked from the beginning to the end. The Rippaverse is not missed. Well, I'm glad. I like that feedback there. And yeah, she did a great job. Look, a lot of people don't know that Carol's this ain't her first rodeo. She is a great author, and I'm glad that we could finally get her to do something here at the Rippaverse. It was really overdue, long overdue, for her to do something. And I'm just glad everybody with the first project that you've seen, at least from the Rippaverse from her, that you are enjoying it, because it does seem that, like I said, it's almost unanimous that everybody I see talking about Dirty Deeds, it's not even like, it's like, oh, this is awesome. Please give us more. So we'll be looking at those responses, and then we'll figure out how that, if we continue this, how that does that look, because it does differ depending on that feedback. Like Salvage got, his graphic novel, you got Saoirse with her ongoing series. So there's all sorts of different things that we can do. But the RippaZines are important to gauge fan enthusiasm for those projects. So we appreciate all that feedback. Regarding Lillian, I can fix it, man.
Have at her, man.
You can
Have
try.
at her.
Good luck, man.
You might feel differently after you read her book.
Oh boy.
You might feel.
She'll give you
No, don't stop him. Don't stop him.
No, we
We'll
like
watch.
CJ. We want him to stick around.
Yeah,
we
we'll
don't.
watch. No, we'll just be there to kind of like afterwards, like be like, okay, you take the feet and I'll take the shoulders, and we'll just.
And while he's just groaning as we're carrying him off, we're just, what did we learn?
You have exquisite taste, though. They don't quite make him like Lillian.
No,
And that's
not
a
at
good
all.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God, right? That is true. That is true. Guitar Zach says the only part of Dirty Deeds that I didn't like is when there wasn't more of it on the next page.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Those pages go quick, man. 15 pages. It's also fun to write in a creative challenge as well. Writing those 15 pages, because you don't write those stories the same way you would an ongoing. It's like you approach it entirely differently, and you don't have to get that audience enthusiastic about whatever you're trying to sell them on. 15 pages in the grand scheme, it just doesn't feel like a lot at all. So that's what we want to hear. We want to hear that, oh, you read it, it's awesome, but it stopped too soon. That's what we want. That's the point. Is to, if you are leaving that after you put that book down, or however many times you read it, if you're leaving that with, man, I really wanted more, then that's a good response. That's the response that we want. It does seem a lot of people share that view of this. So yeah,
He's gonna keep saying that because he's not gonna give me an answer for like 3 months. Just watch.
I'll throw all the survey responses at him.
Yeah, no, we'll for sure get the act, because I know Evan wants to work too. So and he's a good artist. You want to keep guys.
He's a great artist.
Yeah, I want to see more.
Yeah, you want to keep these guys busy, man. If there's work for them, you want to keep them busy. So I'm just glad everybody likes it, man. Those RippaZines are like I love how we're doing this. So yeah, appreciate that. Okay.
And those are great. They're free with membership.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
So if you just have, $5, that's it, and you can redeem it, no issues whatsoever. So
I've seen the next story and the next RippaZine that's coming out. It's pretty hot.
Oh, it's a scary one. And there's one afterwards, but I wonder who the writer on that is.
I don't remember who the writers are. I guess I could look it up, but I'm tired now.
RippaZine 5, we're already there. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Artwork for that.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Y'all have seen. Well, y'all have not seen RippaZine 4, and we already working on 5. So it's things. This train ain't stopping. Not here. We're gonna keep this thing. We're gonna keep this thing moving, man.
Very quickly, like a speedster almost.
Yeah.
Hope you like this, kids.
We'll get down to the bottom of this. We'll figure it out.
We have this is going. Come on, Ripper, announce Dirty Deeds right now. I can't.
Pressure.
Like,
I want it tomorrow. Actually, I want it yesterday.
Send more super chats.
Yeah.
we'll like I said, it does rest upon my shoulders as far as what's going to happen with it. But those surveys are appreciative. We're appreciative of them because that's the information that I need, because I got to determine, okay, if we even, it's not just about if we're going to continue on with the characters and Dirty Deeds. It's also, well, how are we going to package it in the next thing that we create? If we do create them, is that going to be another RippaZine? Is it going to be another? Is it going to be part of, I don't know, an ongoing series or a graphic novel or all that stuff?
Wow, it's like you're a businessman thinking like ahead of time.
Right.
I don't know how. Did you invent business? I think you
Yeah,
invented
I
business.
did.
He invented business.
Let the internet tell me I have
She win.
first time doing a lot of different things. Alpha Core tomorrow. Yeah, it's not quite.
Alpha Core's coming, guys.
It is.
Alpha Core's coming, and if you liked issue 1, issue 2 is even better.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it.
So good.
I know a lot of people are waiting on Alpha Core number 2. So we're working on it. We're staying busy, and yeah, you just never know with us. This is why make sure you take advantage of your hero stash. Because it's just, you never know with us. We always got something going, so be on the lookout. Says I'm still waiting for salvages, Mr. Reese.
It's announced though.
You and me
it's
both.
coming.
Yeah, it's coming. You know that.
Where is it, Eric?
Bart has been working on it, obviously. So that's some good news. There we have got some inks back on those, and yeah, man, it
also
does
looking very good.
Yeah,
which
it
great.
is. It is looking great, and it does, obviously, that's the point of the story. It does pick up right after the events of the RippaZine, and I'm really stoked on this this story, man, because it's as the war as it gets, man. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun writing salvage. Let's just say that. So there's that. But yeah, soon. There will be more salvage. There will, you know, the books that we already announced over at with the Rippaverse. You have that. You have Saoirse. Obviously Alpha Core 2. You have the next Norfolka. Yeah, damn, we got a lot on the way.
Also looking good.
Yeah, that's looking good too.
Yeah. And then we have that unannounced project that we can't talk about that we've been working on for like 3 months. All of them.
Yeah.
It's the one that keeps
them,
you.
actually.
It's the one that keeps Igor the most busy because he has to send emails about it.
It's true.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So many emails.
Oh
You
yeah,
know-
that's the. Oh yeah.
Igor,
oh,
we really
yeah.
appreciate that. You're
Thank
the,
you,
yeah,
Igor.
You're the artist whisperer.
Yeah, he is. He does a good
Thanks
job.
for keeping me busy, guys.
You know,
A
we
lot
were
of
like,
fun.
I know you like, you know, just recently had a kid and got married and stuff like that. But you know, we were like, what if he just didn't let him sleep? Like, let's just do that.
Well, I'm awake anyway. There's a babe crying. Why
Yeah.
Might as well send some emails.
Might as
man.
well work. Look at great art.
Yeah.
No complaints from me.
But yeah, it's so much stuff being worked on. Both of the ladies' projects are underway as well, and yeah, it's the Cursed Black Eye Club, or what I'm referring to, and yeah, it's just so much. All those are cooking like right now. So it's look, you guys already know we're in April, going into May, and we have been at high speed, high rate of speed. Let's just say that. We do have obviously Zalen that's active right now, which we are closing down at 11 p.m.
Space Daddy.
Yara 3 is still active. The Horseman #1, which is on pace right now to do better than Welcome to Flores Park.
Which is crazy.
Which is nuts. That is nuts. There, because I mean, where are we at? Let me figure this out. Actually, we are at almost 8,500 books sold for Horseman already. So that's blowing up. So thank you all so much. But we have plenty of items. We have the second installment of the Art of Joe Bennett that you can grab right now as well. to pair up with the other one. I don't know where do I even have that here? I don't think I do.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm gonna start making up
I have
words.
an idea what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I
got-
had the first one. I don't.
I thought I had a copy there.
Yeah, I thought I
Yeah,
don't.
I got
but
it. Yeah.
but we have Zalen. Well, I almost said 4 covers. Well, one of those aren't available. But you do have B, C, and D that is available. We have some CGC signature series copies. I don't know. Some of those probably have sold out as well. So go grab those. Of course, we have some nice shirts made by our man's Kanan. And we have actually, would you look at this? I don't think I've showed this off on stream before.
You haven't.
We have the official
Oh, that's so cool.
Zalen hat with the Zalen logo. I should have been wearing
Get a
it
hat
today.
for your book.
Yeah. So this is actually a prototype, so it's like too small.
Yeah, these prototypes come in, and that's when he shows up to grab them and leaves.
Yeah, that's literally exactly what happens. I'm like, hey, put them on my desk, and I go to the warehouse and grab them and take off.
That's what I'm gonna do. Next time I need to talk to him, I'm gonna put like a cage trap, so when you grab it, it will fall
like a
down.
mouse
Be like,
trap.
I have questions.
That's exactly what happened. But yeah, we have the Zalen hat here, the official Zalen hat from the Rippaverse. You can go grab that as well. And of course, we have various like bundles and stuff that you could get as well. So go grab those. 11 p.m. is when this whole thing is going to close down. It's 11 p.m. Central, by the way. So be sure to go ahead and get your sales in, or get your well, we need to make sales, but get your buy-in, and we appreciate you. All right, what do we have here? Still waiting on that farm equipment cover for ice.
Oh, I want one of those. That sounds great.
Maybe. Which is active. ISOM 3, obviously, you guys know, is active right now.
Coming up on 600K.
Yeah, coming up on 600K, which is crazy, by the way.
Nice.
Thank y'all so much for that. But yeah, it's been because we just closed down. Was it Great War Friday? Everything's running together. So I'm like, you could have told me any other book. I've been like, yeah, we closed that one down. But it was actually, it was Great War 2. As far as fulfillment is concerned, as you guys know, we did have, it was a late edition. I'm mentioning this. I also mentioned this in the video that we put out today because it's important information. You also see it when you open the CGC stuff up. With the CGCs, those were late editions, right? At first we weren't going to do them, and then Chuck was like, no, let's do them. So we're like, okay. Those will be arriving later. We're not gonna change our initial fulfillment window, right? So that being said, if you do want to get some CGCs, if you want a reader copy alongside it, you might want to maybe stash the CGCs in your hero stash and just outright buy the others. That way you're not waiting, because obviously if they're a combined order, you're not going to get your reader's copy until Zalen CGCs start to ship out. So be sure to separate those. Those were a late edition. That only applies to Zalen and the Great War Separation 2, which is already closed down. So we will start fulfillment as soon as we realistically can for those. So yeah, be on the lookout. Okay. All right. Before we end up bouncing up out of here, I'm gonna go round table one more time, talking about Zalen. What I guess everybody, I'll tell you what, let's just do this. We're all gonna let the audience in on what we think people are going to get from it. I ask that question a lot. I'll go first. Zalen, what kills must die is the theme of today's show has been the scale. And it really is felt when you read that, when you really see the artwork, obviously in combination with Chuck's story. When you see how it plays out, it feels larger than, like, it's not as contained, if you will, as a horseman, let's say, in comparison. This is very much our first cosmic story, and it feels that way, man. You're going to be following Zalen Dark. You're going to learn more about him. You know the phrase, you got what kills must die, but there's a lot more to that character than that. But I think what people are going to enjoy so much about this is that it's going to get your mind jogging about what else is out there, right? And in this universe, if Zalen can experience this, and this is what the Rippaverse guys are putting him through, what else is out there? And this is what I love so much about this story is that the added layer now, or rather the addition, because up until now, a lot of our stories have taken place in like on Earth, obviously, and in Flores Park. Whereas to this one, it really doesn't take place on Earth at all, right? You're dealing with Zalen and his story. So it does feel larger than anything that we've done in terms of its scale, because it is, but it's not so crazy that it feels like it's like this intergalactic everything, like everything's on the line and like the world's gonna blow, or the universe is gonna blow. You don't get that feeling, but you do get a big feeling like, oh wow, there's a lot out there, and we're really taking on this journey by Zalen and his team and the ship and everything. It's a fun story, I promise you. All right, Carol, I'm gonna let you go next.
You're so courteous. Thank you. I was actually talking about this in the community Discord because you can reach out to some of us and talk to us in there. So I'm just saying. But I think Zalen actually feels like a neglected niche within sci-fi. And one of the reasons it's neglected is because some people just struggle with being able to like kind of write that in a, I don't want to say an interesting way, but like in an intriguing way. And Chuck does it flawlessly. He really does. So I'm really excited for you guys to kind of explore this concept and see where it goes. And then still walk out with more questions, because Chuck's really good about that. He's like, I wrote this one shot, but I bet you want to know about this thing and that thing and this thing over here too. And it's like, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. Andrew, what about you? What do you think the people are getting from Zalen?
I think to kind of reiterate what you touched on, that sense of scale, but also a sense of just raw power. There's a sense of raw power you get out of Zalen that we haven't really seen yet. And also, what my favorite part is, you get a sense of wonder. There's a real sense of wonder about our universe beyond Earth, beyond Flores Park, that Chuck and Joe, the dynamic duo at the Rippaverse that they really layer that into every single page with this book. And I guarantee at the end of that book, you will want more. There's no way you close that book and you're like, yeah, I'm good. That was fine. No, you are going to want more, because beyond the incredible art, the incredible story, but what it presents as potential to set up for the future within the Rippaverse, whether it's got anything to do with anywhere near our galaxy or couldn't be further from it, Zalen, What Kills Must Die is a book you will want more of.
That's putting it perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's go to the ladies. Again, you had early eyes on this, and you saw the script kind of as it was coming in, but also seeing some of that artwork come in. Ladies, what do you think people are going to get from the story?
He appears in your dreams. Would you like to go first?
I love Zalen. I can't help it. I will say that something that Chuck does great with all of his stories is they are self-contained, but they're also connected to the fullness of the Rippaverse. And you take these stories and you're like, wow, how is this going to affect the rest of the Rippaverse? And you definitely get that with Zalen, because Andrew is unfortunately here, so I can't.
Not unfortunately.
Can't get into too much. No, I love you, Andrew. Just you're only second to Zalen.
Wow.
He can hear you.
But
all right, I can take a back seat to Zalen. I don't have anything on Zalen Dark, and he could punch me inside out.
You could get a spaceship. Go get a spaceship. Chicks dig spaceships.
Chicks do dig spaceships, but I've got better chance of stealing the dirty deeds, and even that I wouldn't be successful with. So, but I would be more likely to try because girlfriend is on it. So.
I'll take Zalen's ship. I'll take Zalen anything. But I will say that after you read Zalen, you will have a lot of like, oh, perhaps he's interacted with such and such, or maybe he's going to interact with so and so. And oh, damn, I just watched him do NDA. I wonder what he could do to such and such or whoever, or in X situation. And the way that the book ends, I will not tell you, but it is super intriguing, and you're going to have one of those oh shit moments because you just had a nice time with Zalen. I mean, you really feel for Zalen because you really you intimately get to know this character, and you know just enough. There's enough mystery, but there's enough answers to questions that make you just fall in love with him. Maybe not as much as I have, but very much in love with him, and where he's going next, and what he's doing, and what he's done before, where we're catching up with him. Very intriguing. It just kind of opens up the entire Rippaverse to a lot of like, oh my gosh, this could be cool moments, and some of those cool moments are already in the works. So you are going to love Zalen. Cover B is also almost sold out. I'm nervous for you guys. I'm nervous that you're going to miss out on it.
Very true.
A few points. One, Dirty Deeds and Zalen, space swearing. Ooh, I love that they have different cuss words in space. It's in the Bible. I love being like, oh, what does scrap mean? Right? More space swearing in Zalen. Spoilers. They got a different bit of language in there. It's really nice to see two masters of the craft like Chuck and Joe get free reign to just create. And you really get to see that with this book. And if you think Yaira goes around and does whatever the F she wants, wait till you see Zalen doing what he wants. Yeah. It is very enjoyable. And it's one of those like F yeah comics where you're like, what's he gonna do? Oh, what's he gonna do? Oh, okay.
He is gonna do whatever the freak he wants.
Who's gonna stop him? Nobody.
Who could? Who could?
True. Who could? Who could?
Twins out.
Igor, obviously, you have to look at everything through that lens of the artwork, right? That's why you're here. Zalen, how you think people are going to feel about it as they finally, or when they finally get their hands on it?
Yeah, I feel from the art standpoint, like you couldn't ask for anything else. Like I mentioned, like you get Joe, you get Fabio, you get like Marcus. Like it's well, it can get better, but like it's gonna be from them probably, like another team up or something else. Like if you're a writer, you don't want anything else. Like you're gonna get like the best. It's gonna be Joe, it's gonna be Fabio, it's gonna be Marcus. Like work so well together. But I think people are gonna get something else from the art and from the story that goes well together. We were talking about scale, but it gets not weirdly, but surprisingly subjective and intimate in some points. Like, and Joe's art is very good at that. Like you go introspective, you get to know the character. So the story is about scale. Like you're gonna be awed by the scale, but you're also gonna be intrigued by the character. And I feel, especially Zalen, but all the other characters that support him, you're gonna be very interested in knowing more, as we are, like knowing more about the character. The twins were talking about how it connects with the rest of the universe. It's another great point. It's probably gonna make people want to know more. Well, there are some points in the story we can undisclose that, but it's gonna be very hard to like. Yeah, we do have great artists. I have to say, we do. I've seen some pages, man. The stuff that's coming out, it's gonna be, people don't know what's gonna hit them, but I feel like the art tells a very good story. I didn't even need to read the words before it was lettered to know what the story is about the first time, because that's how good Joe is.
Yeah,
like
good
that's
point.
what you want in your comic book. You want to be able to read just with the panels alone, and he does a great job. Like the script is great, but the artwork is like out of this world. And I feel like the characters are what we're here for. Like the action is part of their journey and helps tell the story, but the characters is really what's gonna grab people's attention in this like title, if we're gonna call that. Like if there is a Zalen 2, if there is a Zalen 3, that's that's in the future, but people won't regret buying this. It's amazing. It's gonna leave you wanting more, like as did Dirty Deeds. Like Zalen's gonna leave you wanting more for sure.
That's putting it perfectly. Yeah, you are gonna want more. Definitely with how it ends. So, all right, guys. 11 p.m. Central. Zalen will be closing down. We are less than 25. Well, before selling out for cover B, there's only 25 left actually. So, be sure to grab that. Less than 40, as I mentioned. For cover C. So you might want to go ahead and grab those if you have not, because once those sell out, the only one that will be available that we can ensure is going to remain available is going to be cover D. Even if it goes in the back order, we will make sure we get some of those reprinted. So go grab Zalen What Kills Must Die in the store right now tonight. We appreciate you having us here today for the Rippaverse Roundtable, but we also appreciate your continued support for everything Rippaverse. We got lots of fun things happening. Of course, we still have a few with Horsemen. We'll have today close with ISOM, which will be the next one to close out. But we also have Yaira as well as Horsemen that are active right now that you can go purchase. Throw those in your hero stash if you're not ready to have those shipped. You can save a little money. But we appreciate your continued support. We're going to keep grinding. Actually, as soon as I'm done with this, I will be getting right back to work because I got a lot of stuff that I need to do because I've been doing editorial stuff pretty much all day. So I got to get caught up on other stuff. So thank you all for your continued support. We love you. We will be back next week on another roundtable. What those subject matters are, I don't know. Control Z. What is the next one?
New Control Z drops tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Central.
There we go. 4 p.m. Central. 4 p.m. Central, another Control Z. Give you that art perspective from the Rippaverse team. So be on the lookout for that. It's 4 p.m. Tomorrow. I know I did announce that little series. I got some cool stuff developing there that will finally start to release. But yeah, it's lots of stuff going on here at the Rippaverse, and we thank you. But we got to get out of here because I know all of us got stuff to do. I've been working all day. I know these guys they've been working all day, but they got family and stuff they need to go tend to. So appreciate y'all. We will see you next week, same time, 6 p.m. Central on Monday. Thank you all so much. Until next time, y'all be easy. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Bye.